トヨタのバッテリー EV 専用車 BZ シリーズです。ビヨンドゼロ、ゼロを超えたその先へを意味するトヨタ BZ。 16代目のクラウン、日本の歴史に重ね合わせればそれは明治維新です。ご覧ください。新しい時代の幕開けです。
The Toyota is committed to a multi-pathway strategy. Hybrid, plug-ins, BEVs. The bottom line, I simply want to make ever better car, no matter what kind of the powertrain they have.
Toyota's CEO has made a revelation that is sending shockwaves through the entire electric vehicle industry. As more and more cars go electric, this innovation might change everything. Is the car world about to see a terrifying change, or is this just another bold move in the business? Join us as we explore the new engine that will destroy the entire EV industry. A legacy of automotive innovation and evolution. Toyota's journey through the changing landscape of automotive technology is truly remarkable. Starting from modest beginnings, the company has soared to the brink of transforming the industry as we know it. In the early days, Toyota's focus on engine development was marked by simplicity yet effectiveness, catering to the needs of the time. Surprisingly, during World War II, Toyota shifted its gears to primarily produce standard-sized trucks for the military, a crucial moment that laid the groundwork for its future ventures in automotive engineering. After the war, Toyota diversified its engine technology, embarking on a path of refinement and innovation. Their exploration into gasoline engines signaled the beginning of a quest for more advanced and efficient designs. The introduction of engines like the R series in the 1950s and 1960s set a new standard for durability and reliability, establishing Toyota as a brand synonymous with quality. As the decades rolled by, Toyota continued to push the boundaries of automotive technology. The 1990s and early 2000s witnessed significant advancements, with the introduction of new engines such as the 7AFE lean burn engine aimed at reducing emissions, the development of variable valve timing intelligent mechanisms like the 2JZGE revolutionized fuel efficiency and performance. The dawn of the new millennium saw Toyota's move into hybrid technology with the creation of the 1NZ-FXE engine, marking a monumental shift towards gasoline-electric hybrid vehicles. These innovations not only showcase Toyota's foresight, but also its unwavering commitment to environmental sustainability, well before it became a global priority. In recent years, Toyota has not only upheld this legacy, but has propelled it forward with even greater force. Through relentless innovation and dedication, Toyota continues to redefine the future of automotive technology, setting new benchmarks for the industry at large. The arrival of the Dynamic Force engine family marked a significant milestone, bringing forth engines that not only offered outstanding fuel efficiency, but also maintained impressive performance levels. Powering popular models like the Corolla and Camry, these engines exemplify Toyota's flair for seamlessly blending fuel economy with power, a balance that's often hard to strike in the world of cars. Today, Toyota stands on the edge of a breakthrough that could change how we view automobiles. Their latest ventures into hydrogen-powered internal combustion engines and the exploration of water-powered engines represent bold departures from the usual powertrains we're accustomed to. These technologies reimagine the very essence of what propels our vehicles forward, an engine that emits nothing but water vapor, utilizing hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe, as its fuel source has immense implications. It's not merely about reducing emissions or enhancing efficiency. It's about basically reimagining the impact of vehicles on our planet, and the imaginations surrounding these innovations only add to their appeal. How will these engines perform in everyday driving scenarios? The answer holds the potential to reshape our entire perception of driving. As we eagerly await Toyota's next innovative revelation, one thing is certain: the automotive industry teeters on the brink of a standard shift, and Toyota stands at the forefront of this revolution. Toyota's venture into hydrogen-powered internal combustion engines is a game-changer amidst the rising popularity of electric vehicles. But what makes this technology stand out from traditional gasoline engines and electric cars? Toyota's hydrogen engine innovation. Toyota's innovation revolves around using hydrogen as a fuel for combustion engines. The choice of hydrogen and its function within an internal combustion engine are significant considerations. Unlike hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles like the Toyota Mirai, which produce electricity through a chemical reaction, hydrogen internal combustion engine, HICE, cars burn hydrogen directly, similar to how gasoline engines operate. This direct combustion approach has a notable advantage. It generates almost zero CO2 emissions. The main byproducts are small amounts of engine oil burned during driving and some nitrogen oxides due to oxygen intake from the air. However, these emissions are significantly lower compared to traditional gasoline engines. Consider the performance of an engine powered by hydrogen. It all comes down to the engine's design. Toyota adapted its 1.6-liter turbocharged three-cylinder engine, commonly found in models like the GR Yaris and GR Corolla, to run on hydrogen fuel. This involved integrating a strong fuel tank for storing high-pressure hydrogen and redesigning the fuel supply and injection system. Interestingly, hydrogen burns faster than gasoline, potentially resulting in a highly responsive engine, particularly beneficial in motorsport settings. But how does this technology fare in real-world scenarios? Toyota has taken proactive steps to test and improve it, especially in the challenging environment of motorsports. The Corolla Sport race car, equipped with a hydrogen-powered G16 eGTS race engine, has showcased impressive performance metrics, demonstrating the practical applications of this innovative technology. The high-speed burning of hydrogen leads to a more reactive racing engine, demonstrating hydrogen's potential as a feasible fuel option for high-performance needs. Furthermore, Toyota's overarching objective with this innovation is not merely about engineering a new engine type. It's about envisioning a sustainable future. Toyota aims to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, viewing hydrogen combustion engines as a crucial step toward this goal. The company's commitment extends beyond automotive applications, including partnerships to tackle challenges in green hydrogen production and infrastructure development. This comprehensive strategy highlights Toyota's belief in hydrogen's potential as a cornerstone in the journey toward a carbon-neutral society. By blending traditional engine familiarity with the eco-friendly advantages of hydrogen, Toyota not only challenges the prevailing narrative centered on electric vehicles, but also reshapes the concept of sustainable transportation altogether. In the automotive industry's shift toward sustainability, Toyota's hydrogen-powered internal combustion engines offer an interesting prospect. But how do these engines fare environmentally, particularly when compared to hybrid electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles? Let's explore this question and uncover the environmental benefits of hydrogen engines. Firstly, hydrogen engines are unique in terms of environmental impact. The critical factor lies in their emission characteristics. In contrast to regular gasoline engines, which release a significant amount of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas contributing to global warming, Toyota's hydrogen engines operate without emitting any CO2. Instead, the primary emission from these engines is water vapor, making them an exceptionally clean alternative in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. Many people wonder if it's really possible to have an engine that has such a tiny effect on the environment. It really is. The secret lies in the combustion process of hydrogen engines. When hydrogen fuel burns in these engines, it reacts with oxygen from the air to generate energy, with water vapor being the sole byproduct. This process stands in stark contrast to the combustion of fossil fuels, where carbon in the fuel combines with oxygen to produce CO2. The elimination of CO2 emissions from the exhaust pipe marks a significant stride in reducing the environmental footprint of the automotive industry. But how does this compare to hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEVs? HEVs, which blend a gasoline engine with an electric motor, and PHEVs, which can be plugged in to charge their batteries, offer enhanced fuel efficiency and reduced emissions compared to traditional gasoline vehicles. However, they still rely on gasoline and consequently emit CO2 during operation, albeit at lower levels than conventional vehicles. In contrast, hydrogen engines present the potential for genuine zero-emission driving, provided that the hydrogen fuel is sustainably sourced. Another environmental consideration is the life cycle emissions of these vehicles. While HEVs and PHEVs involve batteries that necessitate rare earth elements and often undergo energy-intensive manufacturing processes, hydrogen engines sidestep these challenges. The production of hydrogen fuel, especially when derived from renewable sources such as wind or solar power, can be less environmentally burdensome than battery production, offering a more sustainable overall life cycle. The efficiency of hydrogen combustion engines can rival or even surpass that of traditional combustion engines, particularly in heavy-duty applications. This is especially noteworthy as hydrogen engines can match the efficiency of hydrogen fuel cells in such scenarios. Unlike fuel cells, which excel at low loads but lose efficiency at high loads, hydrogen combustion engines peak at high loads, making them ideal for demanding tasks that require robust performance. In a world confronted with the pressing issues of climate change and dwindling resources, technologies like Toyota's hydrogen engines offer a glimmer of hope. They promise cleaner and more sustainable transportation solutions without sacrificing performance or practicality. Hydrogen-powered performance. Surprisingly, hydrogen-powered engines can deliver the same level of performance as their gasoline counterparts. The secret lies in hydrogen's unique characteristics as a fuel. When hydrogen combusts, it does so at a much faster rate than gasoline. This swift combustion translates into the potential for heightened responsiveness, a crucial aspect in performance-oriented driving. This fast burning also affects how enjoyable it is to drive. In regular cars with gas engines, drivers are used to a certain type of performance. When they press the gas, the car responds right away. The engine makes a certain kind of growling noise. And there's a feeling of power under their control. What's fascinating about hydrogen-powered cars is that they can recreate these experiences. Even though they run on clean fuel, drivers of Toyota's hydrogen cars can still feel like they're driving a regular car. They get the same sounds from the engine, which many car lovers enjoy as part of the driving experience. Toyota decided to find out if these cars can perform well on the racetrack by entering a hydrogen-powered car into racing competitions. These cars proved themselves capable. They could keep up with the traditional racing cars in terms of speed, agility, and endurance, even in the most challenging racing conditions. And when it comes to horsepower, Toyota's work in this area has shown promising results. By tweaking existing engine designs to work with hydrogen, Toyota managed to get power output similar to, and sometimes even better than, regular gas engines. This isn't just a big achievement technically. It also shows that hydrogen could be a real alternative for high-performance cars. However, one question still hangs in the air. Are these cars as fun to drive as regular gas cars? This is a bit of a personal thing, but early signs suggest they are. Drivers of Toyota's hydrogen cars say it's a familiar yet thrilling experience. It's like driving a regular car, but with the added excitement of using a clean, eco-friendly fuel. Toyota is doing something pretty cool with their cars. They're making vehicles that still feel like regular cars but run on new, eco-friendly technology. This means you can have the same fun driving experience you love, whether you're just cruising to work or tearing it up on the racetrack, all while being kinder to the environment. Now, let's dig into the tech stuff, focusing on one of Toyota's coolest achievements, the 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo engine in their Corolla Cross hydrogen prototype. This engine is a mix of old-school design and new tech. But what makes it different from regular engines? Well, it's a real marvel of engineering. It's based on the same platform as the engine in the GR Yaris, a car known for being fast and nimble. The GR Yaris, affectionately called the stubby little hot hatch, draws its inspiration from classic specials like the Celica GT4. This means it's tailored for enthusiasts, those who crave a driving experience that's raw and thrilling. Instead of sticking to the conventional 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder setup, Toyota took a daring leap by opting for a smaller 1.6-liter turbocharged engine, which pumps out nearly 270 horsepower. This engine, the G16 EGTS, isn't your typical small motor. Despite having only 3 cylinders, it packs quite a punch. Most 3-cylinder engines tend to be much smaller, around 1 liter or even less. But Toyota's decision to go with a 1.6-liter engine was quite bold. The engine's construction features a cast aluminum block with an open deck design. This means there are open coolant channels between the block's walls and the cylinders. While a closed deck might seem sturdier due to more material, the open deck configuration is still a popular choice for performance engines. Toyota went to great lengths to ensure this block is as rigid as possible, even with its unusual design. To reinforce the engine's strength, they implemented a main bearing girdle. This girdle acts like a sturdy belt, connecting the crankshaft to the block's walls and ensuring it stays steady even under intense pressure. Interestingly, this technique is also used in the B58 engine found in the Supra. While the internals of this engine aren't forged, they're still robust, featuring high-strength eutectic cast pistons. Tuners have already pushed these engines beyond 375 horsepower, showcasing their durability. Beneath the pistons, you'll find 3 oil jets per cylinder, a feature also seen in the Supra's straight-six engine. These jets help cool the pistons by circulating chilled oil underneath them, keeping temperatures in check. With a compression ratio of 10.5 to 1, which is relatively high compared to older turbocharged 4-cylinder engines like those in Toyota's Celica GT4, managing heat becomes crucial. That's where the piston cooling jets prove their worth, ensuring the engine stays cool even under high compression. Moving to the top end, you'll find 2 hollow camshafts, each controlling 4 valves per cylinder, along with variable valve timing on both intake and exhaust. While these features are quite standard nowadays, Toyota took it a step further by individually CNC machining the intake ports to optimize airflow, a careful process that enhances performance. The key to the impressive power of the G16 engine lies in its turbocharger, which uses a single scroll ball bearing. In the world of turbochargers, ball bearings are favored over journal bearings because they offer better response and performance. This means you get a turbocharger that responds quickly without significant lag. People who've driven the GR Yaris will tell you how responsive it feels, thanks to this turbo setup. Unlike some setups where the turbo and manifold are separate, in the G16 engine, They're cast together as one piece. This means if you want to upgrade your turbo, you'll likely need an aftermarket exhaust manifold too. It's interesting to note that aftermarket tuners have already achieved 300 horsepower with the GR Yaris engine using just an ECU tune. So it'll be fascinating to see how much more power this improved version of Toyota's 3-cylinder engine can deliver. But to make the Corolla Cross hydrogen prototype work efficiently, Toyota had to make some big changes. They keep the engine performing well with a totally different fuel. This is related to how hydrogen burns. Hydrogen needs to be handled and burned differently than gasoline. So, Toyota's engine uses a fancy system called high-pressure hydrogen direct injection. This lets them control how the hydrogen gets into the engine super precisely, making it perform better and use less fuel. The 1.6-liter engine still packs a punch, putting out power and torque that can keep up with regular gas engines. And the turbocharger in the engine helps make sure it's got enough oomph for high-speed action. But there's a tricky part with hydrogen. It's not as dense as gasoline, so you need more of it to get the same power. Toyota's engineers tackled this challenge head-on, making sure the engine and turbocharger were just right for hydrogen fuel. And here's something cool. Hydrogen engines can be more efficient than regular engines, especially when you're pushing them hard. This means better fuel economy and way fewer emissions, which is great news for the environment, because hydrogen combustion only produces water vapor as a byproduct. The engine is super clean, almost emitting no harmful gases, which is good for the environment. Now, let's talk about how Toyota plans to become carbon neutral in the future. They're not just focusing on one thing. They're combining different technologies like hydrogen and electric power. You might wonder why they are going for this mix of technologies instead of just sticking to one. Well, first off, they're really into hydrogen, because when you use hydrogen in fuel cells or engines, the only thing that comes out is water vapor, which is way better for the environment than burning fossil fuels. And Toyota isn't just looking at using hydrogen in regular cars. They're also thinking about using it in things like trucks and buses. But can hydrogen alone help Toyota become carbon neutral? They know it's not that simple. That's why they're also getting into electric vehicles, EVs. They believe in a mix of technologies. Toyota's approach is quite different from other companies that are all about EVs. They understand that EVs have some issues right now, like not being able to drive long distances without charging, and the environmental impact of making and getting rid of batteries. So, they're offering different options like hydrogen cars, plug-in hybrids, and pure EVs. This way, they hope to meet the needs of lots of different customers and driving situations. But how does this mix of approaches help Toyota reach its big goal of carbon neutrality? Well, Toyota knows that different places have different ways of making energy, different ways of getting around, and different rules about the environment. So, what works in one place might not work somewhere else when it comes to cutting down on pollution. For example, in some places where there's lots of renewable energy like solar or wind power, electric cars might be the best choice because they don't make any pollution when they drive. But in other places where it's easier to make hydrogen from renewable sources, cars that run on hydrogen or a mix of hydrogen and gas could be better. And Toyota isn't just thinking about the pollution that comes out of cars. They're also working on making their factories cleaner, recycling stuff better, and using less energy from non-renewable sources. All of this is just a start to reach the big goal of carbon neutrality. There's still a lot more to do. As Toyota leads the way in making engines that run on hydrogen, they're entering new territory with lots of challenges and lots of potential. But what are these challenges, and how do they affect the journey to change how cars work? One big challenge is the stuff we need to make hydrogen engines work. Right now, there aren't many places where you can fill up a car with hydrogen like you can with gas or charge up an electric car. And this is such a big deal. The reason for all these challenges lies in what hydrogen is like as a fuel. Hydrogen is a bit tricky because it's highly flammable and not very dense. That means we need special ways to store it and move it around safely. Creating a network of places where you can fill up your car with hydrogen is a huge job that needs a lot of money and planning. But if we can do it, the payoff could be huge. A system for fueling cars that's clean and super efficient, which could help us use a lot less fossil fuel. Safety is another big concern when it comes to using hydrogen. It's flammable, so handling it can be risky. To deal with these safety issues, Toyota is serious about making sure their hydrogen fuel systems are super tough and have lots of safety measures built in. They're working on making containers that can hold hydrogen safely, and they're using fancy sensors to catch any leaks before they become a problem. But it's not just about making the cars safe. They're also making sure people who use them and the folks who might have to deal with accidents know how to handle hydrogen safely. But even with all these challenges, hydrogen engines have the potential to change the car world in a big way. They are also very exciting for a few reasons. For one, hydrogen engines like the ones Toyota is working on could mean cars that don't make any pollution. And in a world where we're worried about things like climate change and pollution, that's a really big deal. Plus, these engines could give you the same kind of driving experience you get from regular gas engines, but without feeling guilty about harming the environment. This part is super important for keeping people interested in and willing to use these engines, especially for folks who aren't sure about switching to electric cars because they worry about how far they can go and how well they perform. Toyota has revealed they're developing something even better than electric and hydrogen cars. Toyota's water-powered engine revolution. Toyota's dive into water-powered engine tech is a big step forward in finding greener ways to drive. But what's this water-powered engine all about and how does it work? First off, let's get to the heart of it. A water-powered engine. It might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but Toyota is making it real. The main idea is to use water as a fuel source. But how can you get energy from water, something that seems so inactive? The secret is in water's chemistry. Water, scientifically known as H2O, is made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom all stuck together. The trick to getting energy from water is separating those hydrogen atoms from the oxygen ones. And you can do that through a process called electrolysis. Electrolysis is when you run an electric current through water to split it into hydrogen and oxygen. Now, what's so great about hydrogen as a fuel? Well, hydrogen packs a lot of energy, and when you burn it, you can get a lot of power. In Toyota's water-powered engine, the hydrogen from water is used as fuel, burning kind of like how gas does in regular engines. But here's the cool part. When hydrogen burns, it makes water vapor the main thing, not carbon dioxide or other bad stuff. That means Toyota's water-powered engine doesn't add to pollution, which is awesome for the environment. Another fascinating aspect of Toyota's water-powered engine project is its filing of patents related to this technology. These patents show that Toyota is serious about developing and protecting this innovative idea. It suggests they're putting effort and money into making water-powered engines a real thing. But how does Toyota plan to use this technology in cars? Well, it's not easy. There are lots of challenges like making electrolysis systems that work well, finding safe ways to store hydrogen, and designing engines that can handle how hydrogen burns. But Toyota has a history of coming up with new ideas and solving tough problems, so they're not afraid of these challenges. As Toyota looks ahead, they see a world where getting around is good for the planet, efficient, and doesn't cause a lot of problems for the environment. This fits in with what the whole world wants for the environment, and it could change how we think about electric cars. At the heart of Toyota's vision is a promise to do things in a way that keeps the planet healthy. Working on hydrogen and water-powered engines is part of this promise. But why are they focusing on these technologies? It's pretty simple. They can help cut down on pollution and greenhouse gases, which are big problems right now. Hydrogen, as a fuel, only makes water vapor when it burns, so it's super clean compared to stuff like gasoline. Water engines offer simpler mechanical designs compared to EVs, making maintenance more accessible. They also address concerns about battery production and disposal, reducing reliance on costly batteries. And the idea of a water-powered engine, even though it's still pretty new, could be even better for the environment. They're taking real steps to make the vision a reality. The Paris Agreement and other big deals around the world say we need to cut down on how much carbon we're putting out and fight against climate change. Toyota's move toward using hydrogen and water-powered engines fits right in with these goals. It's like they're offering real ways to make a difference and hit these big targets. Right now, most electric cars use batteries to run, but Toyota's talking about using hydrogen and water power instead, which could change things up. But how could this shake things up in the electric car world? Well, it's all about the things that bug people about electric cars right now, like worrying about how far you can go and waiting forever to charge up. Hydrogen cars can fill up pretty fast, just like regular cars that use gas. So they've got a big advantage over electric cars when it comes to being easy to use. And by giving people different choices for clean cars, Toyota's not just playing in the electric car game. They're making the game bigger. They're bringing in new ideas that could change what it means to drive a car that's good for the planet. By getting on board with what the whole world wants for the environment and shaking up how we think about electric cars, Toyota's leading the way to a future where driving isn't just about getting where you're going, but doing it in a way that's good for the planet. And as these ideas get better and grow, they could shake things up in the car world, making room for some really exciting changes in how we get around. In the past, an Iranian expert managed to convert his Peugeot 5004 to run on water, and scientist Alaeddin Qassemi achieved a similar feat. These instances show that creating cars that run on water has been a long-standing goal for many automotive experts. Sadly, numerous inventors who accomplished this feat might not have received proper recognition, mainly because of alleged suppression by the oil industry and government. This raises concerns about whether Toyota or any other company might face similar suppression or pressure to stop producing water-powered engines. If mass production of these vehicles were to happen, oil companies would feel the impact. They might take extreme measures to protect their profits. Though we can't predict the outcome right now, it's clear that we've reached a significant milestone in the automotive industry, and turning back from this advancement isn't an option. What are your thoughts on Toyota's new revelation of water-powered cars? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.